All right, cyber traders, good morning and welcome on back here this Thursday, May 27th, shortly after 9 a.m. Eastern time. Welcome on back. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin for all of us, at least on social media, for all of us live inside Cyber Group. Bonnie, Ray, Norman, Kevin, Ron, Will, great to see you all. No Fausto this morning, Norman, at least, just he has a couple of things on the back end he has to take care of. So I wanted to sub in, just get right to it here. So great to see everybody. And again, all of us in social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, welcome on back. So without further ado, let's hop into the thick of things. Let's talk about stocks that we ended up trading from yesterday. I feel like it's just day after day at this point where, if it's not one, it's another. And if it's not that one, we'll find something else. There's always been something for us to capitalize on this week, just right from the get-go. And most of that was on AMC across, the last few days. But we had plenty of others here too. So what's actually on my screen here to start is the Canon trade. I got someone here on YouTube saying, WTF, no Fausto. He'll be back tomorrow. He just had something to take care of very quickly. My name is Josh Levitan. I'm Fausto's senior instructor here at Cyber Trading University. So, I appreciate you sticking with me here. And, with that in mind, let's just go over this Canon trade. So, we talked about Canon yesterday. We went over this trade during the afternoon broadcast that I typically do at 2:30 Eastern time. But, hey, we ended up catching this right out the get-go here. Ended up seeing this make a slingshot right from the market open. Broke above resistance off of 8. And from there, it looks as easy as it was. Yeah, really. So, at that point, it ended up making a really nice squeeze. I ended up leaving a lot of money on the table on my first trade. I got out at 820. I ended up jumping back in later on, and it was practically from where I got out from. I entered back in right off 818, squeezed it back up. This treated me really well throughout the morning. Not every trade's going to move as swiftly as well as this did, and this ended up moving up even more than I thought. So I ended up leaving even more money on the table heading into the late morning, early afternoon. As is the case with a lot of these Bitcoin mining stocks, Canon, Riot, Mara, etc. They rarely make that big, illustrious afternoon move that you would want to see squeeze up higher. Like this looked great heading into the afternoon. I was hopeful. I put this on our list. Unfortunately, didn't make that big pop going into the close. Now, for this morning, it gapped up a little bit higher. Spotty activity in pre-market. One thing I want to show, though, really quickly is the smart money print that came in. And this will call more of a dark pool transaction at 866. You don't see the volume spike here on my chart, but you could see the big print on the tape, a 650,000 share transaction at 866. It's like kind of flat so far in pre-market, but it's been a big mover for us over the last couple of days, including more so yesterday. And, of course, it is shortable. You could see there on my TradeStation platform. If it ends up diving off, if it doesn't continue to pop up, granted, we could try and short it. So at least for right now, I don't mind slipping Canon just on our main watch list. It's still up 4.85%. Again, not really much of a trend so far, but we'll see how this moves with Bitcoin, with the major indices after the market opens. So alongside Canon, I want to talk about a couple of the other stocks that we had from our morning list. Just give me a quick sec. Let's go over AMC first. AMC is very choppy here heading into today, and it was pretty choppy at least after the market opened up yesterday morning. Steady trend leading into the market open, moving up pretty nicely. Ended up making a bit of a bounce heading into the open, as you could see here. But after 9:30, it was just too volatile, up and down, too choppy, and it eventually ended up making its break. And we were following this all throughout the morning. But compared to the run that we had yesterday, or 2 days ago on this, right? Not nearly as, easy, perhaps. Ended up making a nice trend up off the lows, failed to, make the move up to 20. And I think it topped off at like 1970 heading into the late morning. Ended up trying to go up to 20 into the close, failed to break. And then at least going into the morning here, down a little bit so far pre-market. Unfortunately, AMC is hard to borrow on TradeStation. If you don't have TradeStation, hopefully it is shortable on your end, because if this fails to break higher, again, very similar to Canon, I feel like it could just be a great opportunity either way. I'll keep AMC on the side. Come back to it at the end. If we have a pretty small list or not too big of a list, I'll likely probably just, tag this on at the end. All right, so a couple of others that we ended up doing really well on. LICI, L-I-Z-I, goes to show that we don't need to have news in order to trade the stock. Benzinga Pro even marked this just as, hey, there's no news to justify the price action as to why this stock was running up. So ended up making a big squeeze up. We caught this a little late heading into the afternoon meeting. We ended up catching this off the breakout. not the initial breakout here, but later on when it popped from 610, 615 resistance. I forgot the exact price there, but ended up making a really nice run. I think Kathleen M inside our trading room called this out. She got 45 cents on it. Ended up making a hell of a squeeze up higher after. But unfortunately, and the thing with a stock moving off of no news is, well, there's clearly no reason as to why this stock is going up fundamentally. It could be day traders squeezing the stock up. It could be, a heavily shorted stock and it's a short squeeze. But with that in mind, you want to be careful, because if the volume dies off, the volume traded per minute, odds are the stock's not going to keep moving up and up and up and up. So, it's easy to say, but ended up topping off right under 8, pulled back down, and now today it's on the losers list. So, yeah, this LICI trade heading into the open, I don't know. I'm not really too interested in it just yet. Pretty volatile stock. So, I say that in a good way. Maybe it could make $1 pop after the open, but it just doesn't seem like it's like ready to do so yet. So I'm going to just see what else is out there first. All right, question coming in on YouTube, just asking, what did you say about TradeStation and AMC? And before that, my guy, you're saying WTF, no Fausto, they wrote. It's a joke, no offense. No offense taken there at all. I was saying about AMC that AMC is not shortable on TradeStation. You would need to request the shares to short. So it's not easy to borrow like it was from the last couple of days, unfortunately. All right, so let's zip through this gainers and losers list, folks. I'll be honest with you here. I didn't know I was doing this meeting until 8:58 Eastern time, so I wanted to make sure I was up and at it right at 9 a.m. But I got to make sure I'm ready to go into the open. Let's just try and run through the gainers and losers list right now. And just to begin, obviously, the top percent gainer right now, VTNR, and making a really sharp squeeze up, as you could see here. So nice run. Obviously, we're going to put this on our list. Definitely at the top. Good spread, good liquidity, cheap. The issue on this trade is that it's trading a lot of volume prior to 9:30. I mean, just before this spike up back from mid-May, the stock was trading less than 1 million shares on average. It's trading more than 18 times that this morning. So, that's just simple math I like to bring to the table. Stock's on a 38 million share float. Does that say, or 36 million float? So it's not too low float. Maybe there is enough, maybe the gas tank is big enough to see this continue after the market opens. It certainly seems like it can based on this sharp trend up, but don't guarantee that. Wait for a pullback after the open, and then from there, see if it can make a slingshot. But VTNR looking really good. MOXC, MOXC here. I mean, on the daily chart, easy to say. Seems like it has been a really nice swing trade, but as like a day trade, this is tough. Just very thin liquidity normally on the order book for this stock. I think this stock has a really low float, lower than VTNR at least, 10 million shares. Not as low as what is it, SOS? SOS is on a 1.73 million share float. For the spread that stock has in liquidity, I'm pretty shocked that spread is as low, or the float's as low as it is. We'll get to that in a moment. The TEL stock was pretty interesting. The news out on that stock this morning, I think they ended up signing some 10-year contract, some 10-year deal. I just want to get the news snippet here really quick. So Delorean shares trading higher after the company and another company, Gunvor, announced that they had signed a 10-year LNG agreement for 3 MTPA. I don't know what that means really, but nonetheless, 10-year deal. I guess the street liked it, led to a big pop, early in pre-market. Then shortly after 8 o'clock, ended up making a nice pop. Ended up breaking off from resistance at the time at 375. So I ended up deleting some lines here that I already prepped going into the open, just because I didn't want to clutter my chart too much for you folks. But I had a line at 375. It looks pretty simple to say that was a strong top. So strong resistance, I'm hoping to be a strong support. That's all. But yeah, we'll see where this goes after the open. Much like the Canon trade, stock is also shortable. So if it makes like a pump and dump type of play, if it does, then perhaps that could be a good opportunity as well. Let's get to SOS. SOS, I mean, this I think is a Bitcoin-related stock, crypto mining-related stock. That's the headline that I got from Benzinga Pro on this, but ended up making a big pop for us going back into late January, early February. Ended up obviously dumping back down since, but that type of run leads us to hope to see another run like this at some point. That's not swing trading advice, folks. That's day trading advice. So at least you keep the name in mind. And, if there's news out and the stock's up in pre-market, or if there's good activity, then you ask the question, what if? What if this ends up making a pop after the open? And, with that in mind, the stock's already up 21%, squeezing up to $4 here. So easily we're going to put this on our list, looking really good. And if we can even get a fraction of the type of pop that we ended up seeing late January, early Feb here, then I'll take it. All right, quick second, folks. Oh no, I buried myself here. I forgot to refill up my water bottle, my trusty water bottle, before I started this meeting. All right, let's zip through this here. BTBT, Bitcoin stock as well. Pretty flat so far pre-market. Just, thin order book. I don't really see a need to put this on our list just yet. If it ends up making a pop with the rest of them after the open, then maybe it could be a focus. PSAC, not a whole lot there. Timber, Timber's a familiar name. Ended up making a big pop in like March, April time. You could see dumped back down. Looking at the chart though, too spotty here in pre-market. Not a whole lot really going on. All right, little adjustment on the headset there. So SNDL squeezing up. This is a pot stock. We are pretty familiar with SNDL, as we are with Tilray, as we are with Aurora Cannabis, which unfortunately was a bit of a dud from Tuesday afternoon. We were hopeful for this to make a big run going into the close on Tuesday. Thankfully, yesterday ended up making, that run. Now today, it seems like a lot of the pot stocks are at least up and active this morning. MJ pot sector ETF, not really trading a lot of volume so far, but I guess up. Looking at Tilray, definitely I'll put this on our list. It's only up 2%, but great side list stock, and it has a lot of activity in pre-market this morning. In my opinion, a lot more than usual. So with that in mind, it's more speculation. But between the SNDL, between Tilray, I'll kind of group those two together so far as the pot stocks, and maybe Canon too. We'll see. Beyond Meat, look at this. Another push up on Beyond Meat this morning. I don't know if this was earnings based. Hey, listen, if you follow the more expensive stocks typically, then you should, likely keep this in mind. But for any of our newly enrolled cyber trading students here, or otherwise, just as a member of our, trading room, if you don't typically trade a stock that's $130, then I wouldn't look to make it a focus. So it would be more noise and a distraction than anything. I say that to you folks because I say that to myself simultaneously, right? All right, Mara, stock I'd likely have a lot more interest in than Beyond Meat. I don't know if I'll add this to our watch list this morning. It's up 4.5%. Not a whole lot going on here otherwise. Pretty flat in a range in pre-market. I guess you could say trending down since 8 o'clock. I don't really have too big of a list. I'll slip this on the side alongside the Mara trade. We have 6 stocks on our watch list so far. All right, let's hop over to the losers list, see if there's anything looking just as good, if not better, on that side of the field. We have Plan down 17 plus percent. Oof, getting killed here in pre-market. All right, let me jump to my Benzinga Pro here quick. I'll just check the news on Plan really fast. I am interested in this to see it down over 17%. So it looks like Anaplan just, is earnings based. Their EPS missed the estimate. Their sales beat, but that doesn't really mean it's going to hold. Maybe lower guidance, who knows? Oh no, it looks like they ended up raising fiscal year guidance. They ended up raising guidance, and their sales beat, their EPS missed. But man, they're getting beat up this morning. Maybe a dead cat bounce. Maybe there's more to it outside that earnings report. But either way, Plan. I mean, just more expensive. But I'll slip this on our list given the news this morning. Down big. It is shortable. I'd say support historically should be off of around 42, maybe a 42.50 here. Looking back from summer last year, really strong level around that price. All right, bunch of stuff hard to borrow otherwise on the losers list. Here's our express trade down with AMC this morning. The Reddit stocks. This also made a good move yesterday. All All right, I'll tell you. I'm going to jump to the trading room chat right now, and then alongside that, YouTube, Facebook Live. If there's anything up, down, left, right, more than 5%, type it in the chat board. And with that, I got a question from Peter here asking, is anyone tracking VUZI, VUZI? It was a very nice move from yesterday. Good pre-market this morning. Let's check it out. Definitely made a nice move from yesterday, so I didn't really recap that one as much, but ended up making a couple of shakes from 18, and once it made the the pop later on in the morning, continued with its trend, ended up pushing up near 19. A little spotty pre-market. There's 55,000 shares traded, which is enough for me to at least consider. If you did well on this stock yesterday, and if you do well on this stock when we tend to trade it and call it out, if you do well more often than not on this stock, I'd imagine that you'd follow this more than some of us here in the trading room. And that's totally fine. Again, there's plenty of others out there, folks, that I would consider to be like on the side list. So if I don't put the stock that you're looking at on the main list, listen, if you do well on that stock day to day, or maybe yesterday, if you did really well on this trade, why not follow it, right? So for this VUZI stock, I'd say certainly, that for. Definitely tradable. VTNR still flying. That was from a few minutes ago there. But it popped up all the way towards 475, 480-ish, 480-ish nearly. Started dropping back down. So I was saying to watch for that pullback going into the market open, some profit taking there. Not to get confused with VTNR, we got PLTR from Lewis saying it's steady up. Yeah, PLTR is another side list stock. It looks steady off the lows, but choppy minute by minute. I'll say the same with this as I said with VUZI. And we traded PLTR near every day. Ooh, this F-cell trade, this looks really nice. I mean, nice sharp trend. Ended up making more of a pop going into 9 o'clock, but I like the buying coming in now. Right off of 980-ish here, I could assume just I'd even say 970. There's more prints that came in roughly off the 970 level than anything, and that was from even earlier. So this quote-unquote big spike of volume, don't take really too much to heart just yet. I don't really see like a big print on the ask, right around 980, just a couple prints here, but maybe look for 970 support after the market opens. I like this trend, though. This one looks pretty sharp, and I'd imagine the same to be said for plug. Kind of trade side by side. I'll tag F-cell on our list here. I like that one a bit more, cheaper. Check out AMC. I don't really feel a need to put this on our list, and I'm saying that just given that I did pretty well on this stock the last 2 days. I did really well, but that doesn't mean I'm going to put it on the list for everyone just because I did good. I'm going to watch this stock. I already charted it, lined it up on my other screen, but I don't know. There's not really much of a need to like really focus on this morning. I feel like it's going to be more of a drop off. So if you can short AMC, that might be the better play. Fubo, that was one from yesterday that made a really nice move as well. So good call from Norman. This one definitely trading more volume, not as spotty. More activity on the chart, steady trend. You know what? I like this one. This Fubo stock I do like. I'll put more of a focus on this here. All right, so really quick for all of us on YouTube and Facebook Live, I know that we just posted it live inside the comments, so it's for you to click on there. But for all of us on our streams right now, we have a webinar coming up today, Fausto's Introduction to Day Trading Crash Course lined up, the KISS method, KISS trading method, how to control your losses and maximize profit. So just make sure for all of us live inside the stream today, make sure that you click that link right there, and you'll be able to access the webinar lined up at 12 p.m. Eastern. All right. All right, so I think otherwise, folks, we're just about good to go. Looking at Benzinga Pro here. Lastly, I see actually Riot making a pop. How about that? Let me check out Mara and Riot before I finish up. Riot popping a little bit higher. Mara, it's getting there. It's getting there. You know what? It's up over 5%. I'll slip Mara on the main list right now. I do like this at least more than AMC. All right, so in total, folks, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 stocks to work with. I mean, not too big of a watch list for myself. If you're unfamiliar with, myself doing the afternoon meetings, at times I tend to see the opportunity in a lot more stocks than Fausto. Speaking of keeping it super simple, the KISS trading method. I mean, Fausto's the master of that. So at times I'll have like a 15 stock watch list, too big. So I feel like this is a pretty good watch list in total. Not too big of a list, not too small. The shoe just fits. All right. So for all of us live inside the Cyber Group room, I'm going to post and tweet the picks right now. I'll be back on the mic, of course, coming up at 9:30. Fausto will be on the mic with myself there. For all of us in social media, I appreciate you sticking with me this morning. If you're not going to be joining us live inside our webinar today, make sure that you join us live inside our trading room at least. Go right down to the link on the banner below, at least below, just to get started. All right. For all of us there, again, I'll talk to you coming up pretty shortly. Take care.